Body safety education is not about teaching children to be afraid. It's about teaching children, empowering children with knowledge and skills of awareness, confidence, and communication. Hello, my name is Isama Kalokne, and I am the founder of Teen Ignite Academy, also the founder of the Parenting Hub. I am an educator, a parent coach, and a child development advocate. I speak on practical strategies that transform family dynamics. So, welcome to my Tuesday live session this Tuesday afternoon. So, today I'll be sharing on the topic I titled The Body Safety Conversation Every Parent Should Have with Their Children Before the Age of 7. This is because these conversations are timely and life-saving. So you don't want to postpone them. You want to have these conversations with your children before age 7. All right. So research shows that children who were taught body safety vocabularies and boundaries are significantly, or children who have been taught body safety vocabularies and boundaries are significantly more likely to disclose abuse early and more likely to be believed. So this is why it is important that you empower your children with a body safety conversation. Body safety conversation is a life skill for children. Body safety conversation is a life skill for children. So I have problem with parents who leave these conversations for schools to handle. Listen, let me tell you, no matter how good your child's school is, they can never leave the curriculum and start teaching life skills. They can only brush through it. They cannot. So it is in your place to empower your children with life skills, with life-saving skills, like body safety education. So I discovered something recently. I was researching through, I was doing a research, on parenting, God's idea for parenting, God's purpose for parenting, and I came across something that struck me deeply. And it is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 to 7. There, God gave an instruction on the conversations we should be having with our children. He talked about how you should impress this into your children. Talk about them when you sit down, when you're walking along the road, when you lie down, when you get up. It's a daily conversation. And I'm sure God had body safety in mind, body safety education in mind when this chapter was written. He knew that a day will come where it will be very important that we begin to talk about body safety, because body safety education is a life-saving skill. God knew that it was going to be needed at some point in our lives as parents. So he wrote that instruction down. How many of us actually take the time to have some life-saving conversations with our children? How many of us, how many of us, how many of us talk to our children about finance, about communication, about identity, about self-awareness, about body safety? These are life-saving skills. So if you're focusing on academics, you're focusing on every other thing, and you're leaving this part, you're making a very big mistake. You're making a very big mistake. You're taking a very big risk. So if you know anyone who has children below the age of 7, around 7 years, you may get them into this live session today. If you know someone, or if you do, congratulations to you. You're in the right place. Because what you're going to hear today will shift your mindset on parenting. What you're going to hear today will set you on your feet in your parenting journey. So welcome to our live session. Now, number one conversation you should have, as a matter of fact, it's a must. It's a must. It's important. It's necessary. It's life-saving, because your children's life, their safety, their life, everything about them depends on this conversation. So I want you to take it very personal. as though your life depends on it, because it actually does. Your life depends on this conversation. Your life depends on this conversation. So, number one is body autonomy. You're going to teach your children body autonomy. I want you to teach your children. One conversation you must have with your children who are less than 7 years old before they get to the age of 7 is body autonomy. Body autonomy. Now, excuse me, in this body autonomy, you're teaching your children that their body belongs to them and no one else. You're teaching your children that their body belongs to them and no one else. No one has the right to their body without your consent. They have the right to say no to whatever is not, they don't feel comfortable with. They have the right to say who will touch their body or not. So children need to understand from the earliest age that their body is theirs. It's very important. It's very important. It's very important because we have a lot out there. We have a lot going on out there. I don't know if you are aware, but if you're not, this is your warning that a lot is going on out there. So children need to understand body safety, that body autonomy, body boundaries, that their body belong to them, body consent. Body consent. That they should protect their body and also respect other people's body. So you need to teach them to your children. You need to teach this to your children. No one, not a parent, not a relative, not a friend or a stranger has the right to touch them in a way that makes them feel uncomfortable, scared, or confused. Your child should know this before the age of 5. Your child should know this before the age of 5. In my next live session, I'm going to share ways to teach body safety education to children age by age. I have a book on that. So if you're interested, you can reach out and I'll share with you. Children need to understand. Children need to understand. See, if your mindset or if what you believe is that it's only strangers that abuse children, you're living in time or in the olden era. You're still living in 1900. Because even children abuse themselves and siblings abuse themselves. So there's a lot going on and the need for you to start teaching body safety education. Children need to understand that their body is their own property. So they need to protect it at all costs. They need to protect it. They need to protect it. They need to understand that they have the right to say no to touches that doesn't feel comfortable to them. They have the right to say no to hugs if they don't feel comfortable. I have a problem or I have a problem with people teaching children or parents asking children to go hug that person, hug this person, hug. No, please stop. Children should not be made to hug people. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Why should you ask your child to sit on somebody's lap, a visitor's lap, somebody's lap? There's a lot. Please teach children. Let children understand that their body belongs to them. No adult should ever ask them to keep touch or to keep a secret. Let them understand. The earliest they understand these things, the better for you and the safer for them. Children need to understand this. Children need to understand it. Now, the second conversation you must have with your children before their age 7. If your children are older than 7 and you never had this conversation with them, you're redeemed, you're forgiven, you're free. Go and start having a conversation now. Because the first best time to start was several years ago. The second best time is now. So go and have this conversation with your children today if you've not been having them. Now let's run. The second conversation you should have with your children is the correct names of your body. Teach children the correct name of your body. Teach children the correct name of your body. Stop using nicknames. Using nicknames for genitals teaches children that those parts are shameful and unspeakable. So when we try to sugarcoat it, say something like wee, poo poo, this is, we're not really teaching our children the safety part of this. We're just teaching them that these parts of the body are shameful and should not be named, should not be spoken about, should not be, it's not something we're supposed to have a conversation on. So children should know the correct names of their body. Mention it. Mention it. Mention the penis. Mention the vagina. Mention the buttocks. Give children the vocabulary to speak up clearly if something goes wrong. By the time you start sugarcoating the names, you're making children believe that these things are shameful. They are not supposed to speak about it. Teach children to mention the right parts of their name, the parts of their body. Teach it. So every child who from age 3 should know their body parts and their names is very important. In fact, it's compulsory that you teach this as a parent. As a parent, all body parts has a proper name. Use it. Use it. Use the body part. Use the body parts. All right? Use the body parts. Now, number 3 conversations that every parent should have with their children is teaching safe touch and unsafe touch. This particular conversation helps your children to trust their body signals. It helps them trust their body signals. So when something is not going right, the child knows. When something is awkward, the child knows. When something is off, the child knows. So the child already has an internal signal what a good touch and a bad touch should look like. And the child is likely to respond appropriately. Children are naturally intuitive. The lesson validates this particular topic, this safe and unsafe touch, validates their instincts and give them clear language to describe what their body is telling them. So when something is not going right, the child knows and the child responds in the right way. When something is not going right, the child knows. When something is awkward, the child knows. When something does not feel comfortable, the child knows. Safe touch. What is safe touch? Example of safe touch. Practice the scenario. Let them see you practice the scenario of safe touch, of unsafe touch. Teach your children. A hug, a warm hug from a parent, from a mom, from a dad is a safe touch. From a sibling is a safe touch. A doctor's handshake is a safe touch. A doctor's checkup is a safe touch. And then when you talk about this, the child understands that, oh, there's one that is unsafe or that is confusing, that is weird. Teach them to trust their feelings. Confusing touches that feels weird, even if it doesn't hurt, but it's weird. Imagine someone brushing through a child's breasts. It's confusing. It's confusing. So let them trust their own feeling. Teach them to trust their own feeling. Unsafe touch. Anyone touching private parts outside medical or for hygiene reason, that is an unsafe touch. I don't even believe in, when we mention private parts, there are some parts of the body that are not covered with the underwear, but children, they are, in fact, abuse doesn't really start from penetration. I hope we are all aware. I hope we are all aware. It starts from somewhere even closer, somewhere more open. somewhere more exposed. So when we are teaching children that sexual abuse, when somebody touch your vagina, somebody touch your booty, somebody touch your breast, that's sexual abuse, we are missing it. We are missing it. We are missing it. We are missing it. There's a way someone will touch your hand, you know that this touch is uncomfortable. There's a way someone will touch your ear, you know that this touch is uncomfortable. So I have a problem with teaching children safe and unsafe touch. You're teaching private part. Which one is public? That's the question I always ask. Which one is the public part? If we're shouting private part, which of the body is public? A child can be abused by just fiddling with their ear, touching their hands. So teach them safe and unsafe touch. When something makes them feel confusing or uncomfortable, that is an unsafe touch. And they need to report. They need to speak up. They need to speak up. They need to report. They don't need to keep quiet. They don't need to bear it. They don't need to be shameful about it. They need to speak up. They need to report because their safety depends on it. Their safety at that point is at stake. Now, the number 4. Okay, I didn't mention the unsafe touches. So I'm going to run through examples of unsafe touch. One example of unsafe touch is someone touching your breast, someone playing with a child's Bluetooth, someone, there are some, something like a hug and you're getting something like this in between. That's an unsafe touch. I also have a problem with adults who say things like, my wife, my wife, my wife. That's a form of grooming. And parents should take note. That is a form of grooming. That is a form of grooming. And that's one thing we don't know. So when we hear people say, my wife, my wife, my wife, you're laughing with them. You're actually sending a signal to the child's brain. What are you telling them? What are you telling them? What is the definition of a wife? What is the definition of a husband? So if you're sitting on that WhatsApp group today, come down from that table. The next time you hear someone calling your child, my wife, my husband, my this, please correct them. Let them call the children by the children's name. Let them call your children by their name. Stop sugarcoating unsafe behaviors. My wife, my husband. Unsafe touches, when someone is asking you to sit on their lap and they are touching, that's unsafe. That's unsafe. For the girls, the ones that are already budding breasts, please, is there a way you can restrict them from tight hugging and forcing children to hug people? You're actually exposing your children. You're actually exposing, a lot of us are exposing our children without knowing. A lot of us are exposing our children without knowing. Now, the 4th one is secret versus surprises. We need to teach our children the difference between secret and surprise. Most times children don't understand. So you see groomers, they take advantage of this. Predators, they take advantage of grooming. They take advantage of this. When you notice a particular person buying gift or something, gifting a child or paying attention to a particular child in your house, just know it today that that person is grooming your child. That person is grooming your child. That person is grooming your child. They are just, this thing that happens when you buy chicken. It's just few days to Christmas, and then you get a chicken and you're feeding the chicken very well. The chicken is happy. The chicken is like, oh, where I'm coming from, I don't even eat this much. The chicken is being prepared for a time it will be slaughtered. That is the same thing predators do. They prepare your children, they groom them, they groom their mind, they groom them, they want to help. They're always there, they're always present, they're buying gifts, and they're telling them, this gift is because you're special to me. Don't make sure nobody has access to this. Make sure don't tell, this is a secret between the both of us. Don't tell anybody, nobody should know. This is one of the reasons why children need to understand the difference between secrets and surprises. Abusers almost always use secrets as a tool. They use secrecy as a tool. Teaching children the difference between a secret and a surprise gives them a powerful tool to recognize when something is wrong. So when a child understands that this thing is secret and it's not safe, this thing is surprise, this is good, they know how to respond and how to react in an unpleasant situation. They understand that, oh, this thing does not feel right. I should tell mommy at this time. Why will somebody be asking me to keep this a secret? I'm a special friend. It's between us. No one needs to know. Something is wrong somewhere. The problem is that when you don't teach these things intentionally, your children will know. When you don't teach them, when you don't emphasize, when you don't have these conversations with your children, they won't know. So they become prey to predators. That is why that instruction, that command was there. He said, impress it into your children. Talk about it in the morning, in the evening, when you sleep, when you wake up. Bring it in their head. Let them understand. I need to safeguard myself. I need to read the room. I need to read the atmosphere. I need to know when something is wrong and when something is right. This is part of the conversations you should be having. This is part of the conversations you should be having with your children. This is it. What is a surprise? Difference between surprise and secret. Surprise are happy and short, like a birthday present, a party. That's a surprise. You're planning a birthday party for mommy, and you say, no, we are planning a birthday party. That's a surprise. You want to gift someone something. Maybe a classmate is having a birthday. Act out the scenario. That's a surprise. It's always short and it's happy. But the one that is not the secret, it takes time. You're not happy about it, but you have to keep it a secret. It feels awkward. Somebody buys you something, he brushes through your person, touches your person, say, don't worry, you're my special friend. Keep this a secret. Or he buys a gift for you and says, mommy should not hear, nobody should hear. You're my special friend. Keep this a secret. That's dangerous. That is dangerous, and our children need to start understanding this. Our children need to start understanding it. So our children need to understand the difference between secrets and surprises, because this is the most tool that a lot of predators use. This is most tool that a lot of abusers use. So the more they groom your children, the more they ask them to keep secret, the more your child trusts them. That is when you have not had this conversation with them. The more your children will trust them. And then one day your teenage girl is going to wake up one morning and say, I want to go and visit this man because he's nice to me. He doesn't really say, he buys me things, buys me perfume, he's being my friend. He said, well, he's my special friend. And what happens at the end? That's the stories you hear online. A girl goes to visit a boy, and then the next thing, news are flying everywhere, missing person, or after some days, you see that the story is different. They don't know the difference. They don't know that they were being groomed. They don't know how abusers work. So you need to operate. You need to open up and have these conversations with your children, because their life, their safety, their becoming depends on this conversation. Let's go. Number 5, speaking up and telling a trusted adult. Speaking up and telling a trusted adult. Does your children know who a trusted adult is? Can your child say or mention one trusted adult in their circle? If there's problem, can your child run to someone as a trusted adult? Do they know who a trusted adult is? Do they know what a safety net is? Does your child have a safety net? Does your child have a safety net? Part of the things I plan to do this year, in fact, we have a program coming up in August, and it's called Transition Conversation with Isioma. This is because this conversation, this conversation is going to be hot, hot. Those conversations that parents are running for, we're having it with their teenagers, and it's for teenagers, it's exclusive for teenagers. I'm going to be pulling other coaches from different places. It's exclusive. 5 hours of back-to-back conversation. 5 hours. Those conversations that you have refused to have with your children, we're going to be having it. Part of it is opening them up to a safety net. Why? Because these children are transitioning into the bigger society. These children are moving. A lot of them are going to the university. A lot of them are even going to be traveling outside the country. And you're just going to escort them. And then you wave them. And then what happens? That the child has nobody, no safety net, no safe adult, nobody to run to in time of trouble. I'm saying this especially for the ones with daughters, with teenage girls. Every girl needs a safe circle. Every girl needs someone to have a conversation with, because it gets to a point in their life when they become confused and they need someone else aside their parents to talk to. This is why you should expose your children to mentorship. When you say bring them to mentorship, for mentorship, they say it's too expensive. And what are they even teaching them there? What are they even teaching them there? Expose your children. Let them understand what mentorship means. Expose them to safe adults. If I have a problem, do I have one person aside my parents that I can call and be sure that it is sorted? That is the essence. That is one of the reasons why we expose our children to other adults. So speaking up and telling a trusted adult is one conversation you should have with your children. When something does not feel comfortable, when something is not feeling right, what do I do next? I should be able to speak up. You know the danger of this thing, when children don't learn to speak up, they are enabling their abuser. They are enabling their predator. I've heard story, I have seen where one person abused 3 girls, same father, same mother. Why? Different times, different times. The first one refused to talk. They moved to the second one, and then moved to the third one, and the chain continued. Like that. Like that. So children need to speak up. If something doesn't feel right, I should speak up, because I will be judged. The problem is that a lot of us are quick to judge. A lot of us are quick to judge. A child comes to you, Mom, see what happened. You're carrying your phone and you're calling Mommy Abiokuta, Mommy Lagos. Do you know that Ngozi, this girl, I said it. This one, you're shaking your bum since. I said it, and you saw enter trouble. This one, you are walking and you're doing this. Judging the child. Tomorrow, the child will not come. Tomorrow, no matter what you do, the child will not come. Will not come to you. Never. Because you've killed trust. You have killed the reason why they came to you. Children often don't tell because they are scared, they are ashamed, or they believe they won't be believed. Sometimes, some years back, I was having a conversation with some teenage girls in church, and I asked them a question. We were talking about, I don't even know how I got into body safety. I guess I'm obsessed with the teaching about body safety. So I called them, we're talking, and I said, if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, something is not right, someone makes you feel awkward, the first thing to do is to tell your parent. And a girl raised her hand and said, she will never believe me. And another one raised her hand I tried something like that. They did not believe me. They even punished me. And a lot of them started coming up. Some came to me after the class. I said, Ma, I tried to tell my parents. They did this. They did not believe me. They said I was this. They said, you people judge your children a lot. That's why they can't come. It's not because they are not only scared. One, they are scared of your reaction because you won't respond. You're going to react. Number two, they are ashamed because you have demonized sex conversation and body safety conversation. It's not something you have every day, because if it's a conversation you have every day, if it's a conversation that is common in your home, that everybody knows in your home, it won't be a problem. But because we have demonized it, hey, don't say it, guys, keep quiet. It's forbidden, it's not allowed. Your children grow up thinking, this one, we don't say it here. It's not allowed here. We don't do that here. So when something is wrong, rather than running to you as their safety net, they rather keep it to themselves. They rather keep it to themselves because they know that you're going to react. They are scared of your reaction. They are not sure of your reaction. So they are scared. Secondly, they are ashamed. And finally, they know that you will not believe them. You will even punish them. That's why I have problem with Christian parents. Thank God for the recent ones we have now. They're a bit enlightened. Of course, they're enlightened and they know what. But why will you punish a child for coming to report something like an abuse to you? You feel the child enabled it. You blame the child for enabling someone to abuse them. How? How did you get to this point? That's the question. That's the question. There's a case I'm currently sitting on. It's a case of two teenagers who were found in the school restroom, and then rather than send them to counseling, these children were punished, shamed in the whole school, and then suspended. Very terrible. We need to move from there. We need to move from there. We need to start having conversation. I told the school what you would have done. The best approach was to send these children to counseling. Send them for counseling, not punishment, not shaming them, nothing. In your mind, you will think, oh, I have done something. So they are going to detach, the relationship is over. No, you have only taught them how to cover up their track. You've only taught them how to be smarter than you. You have only taught them how to hide and keep it a secret more. You've not solved anything. You have not solved anything. And the earlier we learn this, the better. Conversations about body safety and sex education helps you build or raise children who are confident. It helps you raise children who are confident. So when you are avoiding this conversation, you're killing your child's confidence. You're breaking your child's confidence. When something happens, the child won't be confident enough to speak up. They'll be managing it. And when the abuser, the predator, knows that this one cannot speak up, they will abuse them more. What are we doing? Why are we sleeping? Why are we sleeping? Why are we not taking the initiative? You must teach your children to speak up. You must expose your children to trusted adults. Should anything happen, this is who to talk to. This is who to run to. Part of the reason why I want to have that conversations with teenagers is because those coaches that are coming, I want to expose them to the children as the trusted adults, even as they head to the tertiary institution or to the larger society. Because someday they're going to look back and need them. They're going to need me. They're going to call and say, Ma, see my challenge. What do I do? What do I do? We need to start putting our children into consideration. We need to help your children understand who a safety network is. Help them name a safety network. Help them name a safety network. Your children should belong to a community of growth, of positive impact, right? So when you have children below the age of 7, always practice the scenario. When something is unsafe, what do you do? Role play it. Practice it in the house as though it's happening. That's role playing. Play the part. Be the predator. You can play the part of the predator or the part of the abuser and say, what if somebody comes and create scenarios, rehearse them. Get your children board games, that teaches about safety, teaches about comfort, do you know that this safety we're talking about is not only for body safety? Even in the house, there could be a fire breakout. What's the next thing your child is supposed to do? The child should know. That is where that safety net comes in. That is where that safe adult comes in. So your child should know what next to do when something is not feeling right. Okay? Now, the next one is teach your children, and this is the number 6 point. Teach your children about online safety and strangers. There's this story I love so much. I've forgotten the title. They told me the title. I've forgotten of a movie. I use this movie a lot whenever I'm interfacing with teenagers, especially the teenage girls. I share this story a lot. It's a movie. I think the movie is nude or something. I can't really recall, right? So it's a story about a secondary school girl, this lovey-dovey boyfriend, girlfriend, and then she foolishly snapped her picture, her nude picture, and sent to the boy. Unknown to them that the boy's phone has been hacked. And this girl happens to be the most brilliant girl in the set. And it was time for competition. And what happened? When it was time for presentation, she was supposed to present her slide. She didn't know that her slide presentation has been swapped with her videos and nude pictures. Her parents were seated, parents from the school seated, everybody seated, the whole place glittering, everybody excited, waiting for her presentation, only for her to climb the stage. Behold, it was terrible. It was heart-wrenching. So every time I watch that movie with my kids, and we're going to be watching it again now that the holiday is coming. I'm going to look for the title. If you have girls, expose them to this kind of conversation. If you have boys, expose them. I hope you know as a parent that the kind of movies and cartoons that we have now are something else. I hope you know. Even books, I hope you know. I hope you know. So this is not the time to sleep. This is not the time to sleep. This is not the time to say, they will figure it out. They won't. They won't. If they will figure it out, or if they would have been able to figure it out, that instruction of teaching your children these commandments, having this conversation with your children, won't be there in the Bible. They won't be able to figure it out. I'm so sorry, but it's the truth. They won't. So you're going to talk to your children about online safety, about dangers online, about strangers. Even young children interact with screens every day. So teach your children, for the ones that are younger than age 7, teach them good and bad pictures and how to respond to them. A lot of our children don't know good and bad picture. A lot. See, some time ago, I took a survey and I asked the teenagers, I said, have you ever seen an inappropriate picture? They said yes. I said, how did you come across it? A lot of them said it was when they were working online, these pop-up windows, pop-up screens, pop-up notifications, and pop-up link. That was how they came across it. So most times your children don't go searching for this content. The content comes to them. But when your child is empowered, when your child knows what to do when they encounter an unpleasant situation, they will respond appropriately. They will not say, oh no, let me open and see. They know what to do next. They know what to do next. They know what to do next. Laying the groundwork early for digital safety is now essential, because all your children, if you say, hey, my children don't use phone, your children use TV. The one in their school, you don't know. Some teachers allow their learners to access to their phone. I hope you know. For those of you who have domestic workers, your own is even worse. Especially if your children have access or your nannies have access to your children or supervised access. Some of those nannies, do you know what they have on their phone? Do you know the content that is there? Do you know the content that is there? And they allow your children to watch it. I saw one video online and hey God, I think it's my husband that sent me the video. He said, see this abomination, you need to talk about it. That was sometime last year. I said, God. The nanny recorded it and sent it online. Or I don't know, was it the CCTV in the house that captured it or something? It was terrible. Such a terrible sight. Such a terrible sight. Why? Why? Why are we exposing our children to this kind of things? Why are we exposing our children to all this kind of thing? Do you know that if you teach body safety, you will save yourself a lot of headache. You will sleep with your two eyes open, closed, because you have laid the groundwork. You have done the needful. You have done the needful. But when you neglect it, that is where trouble comes. Even now, I'm even conversing that we should start teaching our children about alcohol, about drugs, about substance abuse, even children that are less than 7. Why? Because we now have children who consume alcohol in primary schools. Yes. I have seen, yes. You see those sachets, what's it called? Sachet alcohol. So they now take it to school. We also have substances, hard drugs, that have now been packaged as gummies. Those kind of gum that children chew. This is why this conversation should not be postponed. This conversation is as important as today. It's as important as today. No one should ask, your child should understand, and no one should ask them to take pictures in private. No one should ask for their private picture. Even children interact with people who, safety, body safety is all encompassing. It's all encompassing. Children need to understand this. Don't share your private details online. Some of you, your children have shared your address, shared your what's it called? Shared your ATM card, shared your ATM pin, shared their own picture, shared everything about you online with strangers. We need to watch it. We need to be smart. We need to be up and doing. We need to be up and doing. So if you haven't been taking body safety education seriously before now, please go and do the needful. Go and do the needful, because your child's safety depends on it. Take it like your life depends on it, because it does. It does depend on it. 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 So by next in my next live session, I'm going to be sharing with you how to have a conversation, the body safety conversation with your children. I'm going to be sharing it age by age. If you have the ones, if you have a preteen, if you have a teenager, if you have a toddler, what to say and how to say it. I will be bringing these conversations to you. And if you haven't been attending our Friday live sessions, I promise you, you're missing a lot. And guess what? This Friday live session is free, absolutely free. So if you have been missing it, you have been missing. In fact, you have missed a lot. So ensure you don't miss this Friday's conversation. And also, if you have, if you're not a part of our community, if you're not a part of our parenting community, you are sitting on a fence, right? You need to come into the community to be able to consume that which will transform your family dynamics. You need to get into the community because there's a lot that you're already missing. The community is a place of growth, a place of learning, a place of refreshing, a place of discovery, even to you as a parent. So if you're not in that community, if you're not a tribe member yet, you are missing a lot. So until I come your way next time, see you soon.